Chaitanjara kripa patra ke chanite pare Jakan Chaitanya anugraha kare jhare. Who can recognize a recipient of Lord Chaitanya's mercy? Only one who is favored by the Lord is able. Urvejena achila taridra damodhar se mata shuklambara Vishnu bhakti dhar. Shuklambara brahmachari engaged in Vishnu bhakti just as the poor Damodar did previously. So this is a nickname for Sridham or Sudam. Se mata kripa o karila vishwambar jay rahe chaitanya nitya badira bidar. Vishwambar bestowed such mercy on Shuklambara that he could remain inside the house to watch the Lord dance. So he was able to see the Lord dance inside Srila Sangam. He was one of the in crowd. Jule kande lai vipra nache maharange dekhi hase prabhu sabha vaishnavera sange. On seeing the Brahmana dance in ecstasy with his bag on his shoulder, the Lord and all the Vaishnavas laughed. So he would be there on Shivas Angam, inside Shivasa's courtyard at night, in the Ratri Kal Lila of Mahaprabhu, Astakali Lila, from 10:48 in the evening until 3:36 in the morning. And everyone's dancing, and apparently it sounds as if he's maybe a little bit older person, it's hard to say. But being a beggar means he probably was not too fat. Usually you don't get too fat by begging. And at best, when you beg, someone gives you a little rice or dal or maybe a chapati. They don't usually give you rajbhog and samosas and cheese sabji and things that make you fat. I remember doing Madhukari once. I've told a few times when I stayed briefly for 1 week in Govindakund. Every day we were going to Anayur. And we were getting actually sometimes halava. Someone would get married right after Kartik. Chatramasi is over, so all the Vrishvasis get married quite a bit. It's a big rush. But generally we were getting just rotis and some buttermilk. And buttermilk is not very fattening. Chach and roti. And no ghee on it. But it was keeps you going. So everyone's enjoying. They're getting a good laugh when he would dance in ecstasy with his bag on his shoulder, swinging in the air. And, it must have been quite a scene, because Vishwambar and all the Vaishnavas would laugh when they'd see him dance. Vasya achaye prabhu ishvara avesh juli kande shukumbara nache kande hase. As Vishwambar sat down in the mood, Ishvara Avesh, absorbed in the mood of the Supreme Lord, Shuklambar danced, cried, and laughed with his bag on his shoulder. But Lord Chaitanya's followers, they always have a bag on their shoulders with a bunch of books in it, Bhagavatams or Gitas. And I had a bag tied, surgically attached to my shoulder for 6 years. I was doing Sankirtan, always to sleep with it on my shoulder practically. Even it got to a point where devotees on Sankirtan, they would develop, like there's something called tennis elbow. It's called tennis elbow, the tendons here from playing too much tennis, they get stressed out. So devotees were getting bad shoulders from carrying 30 books, 30 Bhagavatams, 40 Bhagavatams in their book bag, carrying around. Sir, take one of these, take. And they get bad shoulders from it. Actually, it happened. These are Sankirtan injuries, Sports industry, sports injuries. So it's interesting to think to envision that this person's going door to door with his bag on his shoulder, and now 500 years later we're some skinny brahmachari going door to door with a bag on his shoulder and begging alms, please give a donation. Same thing. Amazing. Shukumbara Dekiya Gauranga Kripa Mai Aisaya Sakari Prabhu Balaye Sadai. While watching Shukumbara, the most merciful Gauranga repeatedly called out to him, "Come, come!" So now Lord Chaitanya, and this is now the love exchange begins. So we heard about the character and activities of this great devotee Shukumbara, and how he was entertaining the Lord and the Vaishnavas with his ecstatic, funny dancing and Shiva Sangam. Now the dialogue begins. Now this is the exchange of the Ashraya Alamban and the Vishaya Alamban, the Vibhav. Lord Chaitanya said to Shukumbara, "Daridra Seva Kamora, Tumi Janma Janma, Amare Sakaladiya, Tumi Bhikshu Dharma, Amiha Tomara Dravya, Anukshana Chai, Tumi Na Dile Oami, Balakari Khai." Shukumbara, you are my poor servant, Daridra Sevak, birth after birth. You give me everything and remain a beggar. That's nice. That's a nice way to be a beggar. It's not that you never had anything in your possession, you never gave anything, and you never kept anything. But you may have had everything, but you gave everything to Krishna. Sarva Dharman Pratyaja Mame Kamasharam Braja. Amare Sakaladiya Tumi Bhikshu Dharma. This is your Bhikshu Dharma, because many people beg and they keep for themselves. Even sometimes they joke that beggars make a lot of money. Like they have jokes like this. I've been in India and they say, "Maharaj, you know how much these Rajasthani ladies make on these traffic lights? They make 1,000 rupees a day," or whatever. They say like this. They say these beggars are wealthy. And they get all dressed up like this, but back in Rajasthan they have big, Mercedes and stuff, whatever. They have they have big gutty somewhere, but they put on these old rags, and then they collect so much money, and then they go back and then they say, "All right." They say, I don't know. But obviously they're in that difficult position to have to even beg like that. But he gave. He gave everything to me, and thus he remained a beggar. If I work very hard, and I collect 1 lakh of rupees, and then all day, you have 1 lakh rupees. Then in the night I say, "Can I have something?" "Oh, I gave it to the temple." "Huh? Yeah, I'm a beggar. I have 0. So whatever he said, and then Lord Chaitanya says, "I always desire your foodstuffs. Even if you don't give me, I forcibly take and eat them." So it sounds like Krishna exchanging with Vidura, or with Sudama, taking his chipped rice, or Vidura taking the bananas from his wife, instead of going to Duryodhana's place for chop and bone.